was just going to add, respectfully, we would not have engaged in a process that asked this of the community this far, or of staff, did we not feel terrible urgency to address the challenges that exist in this cluster right now. So we always have a moving three-year plan around enrollment and transfer. So which ones have we just done and how are those going? What's currently charged right now? And what are we looking at last year? This didn't pop up out of nowhere, but this is the cluster that has the largest concentration of Title I schools, the most students living in poverty, the highest concentration of priority and focus schools. From the state's perspective, that means the lowest performing schools in the state. So to also stand down right now feels very complex, and I understand the community's passion and their hopefulness about their own neighborhood schools, their desire for a status quo of some sort. Status quo is not working for too many of our kids, and I'm saying this very passionately to you because I believe that we have to have some other solutions. We have some buildings where kids are so crammed in, it's absurd, and some buildings that are so underpopulated right now, we have to, and we are not in a position where we can leverage the additional resources into those schools. It's inane. We're staring down another $16 to $22 million cut for next year. So alongside all that, this is not pulling this inappropriately deciding, let's go pick on this cluster. From my perspective, this is the most responsible thing we could be doing right now is to reckon with what are all the places that we have to take this on. Now, there are infinite number of variables that we could put together. And so part of the frustration is, well, but if you do that and you don't do that, then what happens? We haven't seen the data. Well, if you do that and you do that and you don't do that and you don't do that, what do you get? So we have modeled out hundreds of options to come to the place that we are. And it's a really complex thing to have something cooked enough to respectfully submit it to the community and at the same time have it not cooked enough that there really is appropriate and respectful process. So I want to just enumerate those things to you and say with all my heart that it's, let me say metaphorically, I was at the eye doctor last week and they kept putting those lenses in front of me. Which is better, A or B? A or B? They're both terrible. I just kept saying, like, I don't like either of them. But it was about truing my vision, and I think that this process is evocative of that we are in a place where we don't see a perfect option 1 or option 2 right now. And we are working for a common vision that gets us something stronger. There are many, many of the variables, the enrollment and transfer policy being one of them, decisions around our dual language programming, decisions around IB trajectories, decisions around many, many policy pieces that do lean on this. This cannot be entirely separated from them. What we have done in the process so far is attempt to isolate some of the variables and act on others. So, and I say that with some sense of apology that it may be an imperfect set of choices that we've made to isolate those variables, but they're the ones that we know. And so that's enough. Sorry.
So can I respond? And I really appreciate your passion. I feel it.